Hi, hello, and welcome to the video. How are you doing today? Hopefully good, hope so. If not, hope this video will help. My name's Dan Han, and this is Overthinking Media, where we overthink all things anime, gaming, cinematic, and entertaining with the hope to start a discussion on subjects that may not change the world, but are fun to overthink. And let me ask you a question. What happens in a horror game when the scare you expected wasn't the one you got? Whether you're someone who loves horror, loves gaming, loves overthinking, or just a game dev looking for some tips, this is the video for you, because in this video, we're talking about the misdirective scares and jump scares. So, what are misdirective jump scares? A lot like predictive jump scares, which you haven't seen that video yet, go check out my little eye. Misdirective jump scares are the scares where it's clear there's going to be a scare, however, it's not the one you foresee. So, you end up bracing yourself at the wrong time for the wrong scare that doesn't actually happen. And as you're walking, you think there's gonna... Dude, I'm not... We look identical, I'm not that scary. Douchebag. After you reach the point where you think the scare is, and nothing happens, you relax. You let out a sigh, and it's in that moment when you are most vulnerable that the game throws another scare at you and catches you off guard, which makes it even scarier because you weren't expecting it and you were physically relaxed in that moment. Misdirected jump scares are so great because they catch you in that moment when you are most vulnerable. In that moment when you are relaxed from expecting a jump scare. For instance, if you see a door that is slightly ajar and you're playing a horror game, I mean, come on, mate. It's a horror game. You know something, you're going to open that door or get close to the door and something's going to jump out at you, you're going to scream and it's going to ah! So, okay, cool. So you brace yourself. You go to the door, ready for the scare. Nothing yet. You get close to the door, still nothing. Okay, right. I'm going to open the door, I'm going to close the door, and something's going to jump out at me. Okay, you interact with the door. You interact with the door. You interact with the... Where's the scare? Where's the monster? What's happening? You interact with the door and nothing happens. Okay, cool. Nothing happened. You interact with the door and there's no scare, no monster, whatever. I guess it was just a door, whatever. But then as you walk up, Jesus! As you walk away, something slams as hard as it can into the other side of the door. And you, in that moment, like, no monster, no monster, no monster. Okay, cool. And you're relaxing with that. When it happens. When you let out that little sigh of relief because you think you're safe, but then guess what? No! The scare wasn't the door. It was behind the door. It was waiting for you to close it and then slammed into it. These scares work so well because they happen when you're not expecting them. Yes, you're expecting something to happen, but it wasn't when you thought it was. You thought you were being clever. Like, okay, right. There's an open door. Wonder what it's gonna be. Oh, I'm so clever. I know how scares in games work. Open door. Oh, guess not. Okay, cool. Closed door. And then the game, knowing that you expected there to be a jump scare, then you close the door. There you go. Well, nothing happened. And then it slams a monster on the door, and it scares the living hell out of you. And it's great. It's amazing because in that moment, after you've closed the door, there's no scare, so you're like, okay, cool, I can relax, I can breathe out, I can... I think FNAF actually uses misdirected jump scares, now that I think about it. The first game, right when you're about to die at like the hands of one of the animatronics, the lights go out, the eyes flash, and everything goes dark. You're like, oh! Nothing. And you wait for a few seconds. Oh, has the game broken? Nothing's happening. And then it throws in your face and scares you. Is FNAF misdirective jump scares? Is there deaf animation? That's what I want. Animatronic animation. Word. Is the deaf animation in FNAF 1 a misdirected jump scare? Maybe. Because technically it does misdirect you. You expect the monster to jump out at you. So maybe misdirected jump scares can be explained as... No, actually that's not right. I was going to say it can be explained as jump scares that take an extra few seconds to happen. Which is technically true, but it's not this jump scare you were expecting. It wasn't A, it was B. I think I classify. I think I would say yeah. I'm willing to say the first game of FNAF, the death animation in FNAF 1 is a misdirective scare. Because the monster appears... I don't know. Let me know what you think. I don't know. Moving on. What about the enemy that's dead, that's holding the item you need to pick up? You walk into the room and you see across the hall, there's just this body laying there with the key item you need in their dead hand. We all know what's going to happen, right? You're going to pick up the item and go, oh! It's going to jump scare you and yeah. It's horror 101. You pick up the item, you get really close to the monster, and then it moves. That's what's going to happen, right? Yeah, we all know that's going to happen. So you're like, okay, cool. Hey, if it's a fighting game, maybe even get your gun and just like pop it in the head a few times. Cool. Dead. It's definitely dead. Maybe it was alive before, but now it's not. But cool. Okay. Yeah, get ready. I mean, it's an interactive cutscene. Maybe you can't actually kill it even if you do shoot it. But you brace yourself. And you pick up the item. And you pick up the item. Cool. You picked up the item. No scare. Was that what was supposed to happen? Is the game glitched? Did I actually kill the enemy with the gun? Like, was it supposed to jump at me, but when I shot it, it actually did kill it? Is the game just bugged or broken? Got the key item though, so I'm good. But as you go to leave the room, you go for this little corridor where you have to look back where the body is. But it's no longer there. Huh. Doesn't have to be loud, doesn't have to be flashy, because literally it moves. It didn't even make a loud audio cue to tell you, yeah, I'm moving. Literally, you pick up the item, you start walking away, and when you went past the column, the game disappeared the model and moved in a moving model that started chasing you. But if you didn't notice it was gone, you wouldn't be scared. You're like, cool, got the item, la la la, model disappears. You don't look back, you just keep walking. And suddenly, as you're walking, there's a zombie chasing. However, if you do bother to look back, you pick up the item, you walk past the column, you look back for whatever reason. Oh, it's gone. Oh god! Shoot it before it gets to you. It's almost as if jump scares can be just as effective without needing to blare you with audio or something. Something like a subtle jump scare or something. Someone should make a video on that. Or what about window jump scares? You find yourself at the window of the monster mansion you find yourself in. And it's a window. You gotta look through a window in a horror game. We all know where it's leading, right? Yeah? Okay, cool. So, you walk up to the window. Maybe you have to interact with it, maybe you don't. You walk up to the window, you look through it. You look through it. You look through it and you look through it and the monster appears. The monster appears. You look through it and it's just a window. That's all there is to it. Now, windows are interesting because there's so many different ways to use a misdirected jump scare and scare with windows. It could be that the player's looking through the window, waiting for the monster or scare to happen. But it doesn't. Oh, okay. But as the player turns back around, the door's closed. Or opened. It's not how it was when you entered the room though. It's either closed or... If you close the door, suddenly it's open. Or if you didn't close the door, suddenly it's closed behind you. Okay. Or, much like the door example, could be that you look through the window and there's no monster or anything because, okay, it's just a window. But as you go to walk away, suddenly something slams into the glass. Maybe it breaks it, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? It's scary though. It takes you off guard. Perhaps all it does is it slams against the window and scares the player. Yeah, scary. Or perhaps when it slams against the window, it cracks the window. Doesn't break it though, just big crack through the glass. And you're ready. You're ready for it. You're ready. You're ready for it. No, nothing. That was the scare. That was the scare. It got you ready though. It got you on edge. Ready to fight. But no, just that was all the scare was. That's not bad. They're just particular guard, but it got you in that scared state until you thought about it for a few seconds. Like, okay, nothing is gonna happen. Okay, right. I think I'm safe. I don't know I'm safe, but I feel like I'm safe. And then as you get to the door, you open it, you step through it, you close it behind you, and as you do close the door, suddenly you hear the window shatter. And suddenly the whole mansion goes dark. Which is something I still don't understand to this day. Why does breaking a window in so many horror games cause the breaker to get flipped? I don't get it. Like, you break a window, cool. I've broken windows before. Never has it caused the whole house to go dark. I mean, it's a weird mechanic. I mean, I get it's for like a horror trope, like, oh, the window broken, now you're in a dark room. I get it, but it doesn't really make sense. Yeah. Especially considering the breaker is probably on a different floor in the mansion, or halfway across the mansion, or even on a different floor halfway across the mansion. But I digress. What should you avoid when using misdirective jump scares? Mainly using them as your main and only scare. Because the problem with misdirective jump scares is they're still following a formula. And once you figure that out, they stop being scary. If your game only relies on misdirective jump scares, the player quickly learns, okay, right, there's a scare coming. That one's a fake out. And yeah, hi, I see you. I see, yeah, you're going to try and scare me as soon as I interact with that object. Yeah, I see you, okay, yeah, cool. So, I should interact with the, I mean, do you still want to scare me? I mean, like, it's not going to be very scary because I can see you. Okay. Interaction. I'm sorry, man. Like, your creator kind of just like used too many of you. I knew it was happening. Like, I'm sure you're great at your job. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you're fantastic at your grade. Like, if I hadn't known this was gonna happen, that probably would have scared me. Like, you're a great scare creature. But yeah, sorry. Like, I've already experienced like 15 of these in the last hour, so I kind of knew to expect that. You know, this is gonna happen. I kind of feel awkward now. I kind of just like ruined your job. I mean, do you want to go again? Where we're gonna like, I'll walk out the room and then come back in and I'll flip the switch and I'll pretend I didn't talk to you first and see you. No, yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of being awkward, so I'm just gonna leave now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was a long way of saying, if the player knows that the first one's a fake out, they know the second one is where the scare is. So they're not scared of the first one. They walk through and go, okay, there's a scare coming. Okay, scare happens, and other scare. They know it's to come. They know the formula. They know the first one's fake, so they know not to be apprehensive when they first see a scare. They know they've got time to interact with it, and then they get ready to get scared. With almost every single type of surprise mechanic in any game or any media, regardless of what genre it is, as a creator, as a game dev, whatever you may be, you should never solely rely on one kind of scare. Because if you're only relying on one kind of surprise, the player learns about it and figures out how it works. In the case of misdirected jump scares, if A, then fake B, and real B. It's a formula. It stops being scary because they know to expect it. Or rather, it still stays scary, but they know the first one isn't actually a scare. So they don't prep themselves for that jump scare. They know the second one's the actual scare, so they go, okay, right, jump scare's gonna come, okay, trigger the event, and ready, okay, I was ready for that though. Instead of being like, jump scare, I wasn't ready for that. Despite this, I still think they're great. I think most scare mechanics are great when used effectively. For instance, if the game has a mixture of chance, misdirective, perfectly predictive, and subtle jump scares and scares, it works amazingly, as the player has no idea what will happen when they interact with the scare event. And if you want to know more about those sort of scares, go check out my other videos on them. For now though, let's look at the takeaway. If you want to leave your player feeling constantly uneasy, misdirective jump scares and scares are a good tool to use in your game. However, they shouldn't be the sole scare to use in your game. I'm actually going to research because it's kind of important. Misdirective jump scares and scares are a good mechanic and tool to use in your game. However, they should not be the sole mechanic and scare in your game. Okay? Good. However, if you are using them as a mixture with other kinds of scares, the player never knows when a scare is a scare or when it's a fake out. Because of this, regardless of what scare they encounter, they're uncertain whether to brace themselves for the scare to come or brace themselves to the unexpected scare to come. They kind of interact with it and they don't know what's going to happen, so maybe they brace themselves at the right time, like, this is going to be fake. Fake? Okay, right. Or maybe they go, this is going to be fake. That's not fake. That's not fake. That's not fake. Or hell, maybe the game's using purposely predictive jump scares where you go, okay, right. This is going to be fake. I know it's going to be fake. So trigger it and... no scare. There should be a scare though, right? As I said, using a mixture of both purposely predictive and misdirected jump scares, the player doesn't know if there's going to be a scare or not, and they don't know where the scare is coming from or when it will be. It's genius! Which overall creates a more memorable experience for the player, because they actually had to stop and think about every scare. They couldn't just run through it because, oh, I know how scares work. Yeah, oh, scary. Oh, that was scary. That was actually quite scary, but okay, yeah, whatever, cool. They go, okay, right. Scare, no scare, or misdirective scare. Thinking, interact. So instead of just running through the scares and quickly forgetting about them, they're thinking about them, and every scare leaves a small imprint in their memory, making your gaming experience that you made for the player far more memorable and more likely for them to talk about it to their friends or mates. Like, oh, I was playing this game the other day, and there's this moment where, like, you don't know if there's a scare or not, and it's so good, and you should check it out, and then you get sales, and it's great and fantastic and all that. However, what happens when the game only throws a scare at you 50% of the time? Well, those are chance scares and jump scares. And if you want to know more about those, go check out my video on chance jump scares. Until next time though, thanks for watching. Bye.